Hey guys, what's going on? Nick here, and I have some really exciting news to share with you about some information I just found out. So, I just got off the phone with an extremely organized client of mine, or I should say, upcoming client of mine. And he says, Nick, I've been using land callers for 3 months now. And here are all my statistics. He was so organized. He had how many dials they made, how many leads they generated, and how many deals he had closed. First of all, from seeing his numbers right away, I knew there was a problem. I'm going to give you some ballpark real quick. 400,000 dials in 3 months. Okay. Insane. Only 181 leads generated. That is horrible for land investing. Absolutely horrible. I did the math already. It's 2,300 dials per lead. That is complete garbage. Okay, right off the bat, 2,300 dials per lead. The next thing is he only closed 4 deals. He said 3 or 4. We'll say it's 4. I do think it was 3, but he only closed 4 deals on 181 leads. That's a huge red flag. Our average client closes a lead in every 1 and every 20 leads. Okay. So for someone, for what is the math on that? Let's just get more numbers. I'm really nerdy. So 181 leads, 4 deals. That's 45 leads per deal. Okay. At lead mining, at max, it's 1 in 20. We have a client, Seth. What's up, bro? Seth closed 4 deals on $1,000 package with us. He got 15 leads from us and closed 4 deals on that package. He might even comment below on this video. Anyways, so those are the kind of numbers that we've been generating. So right when he showed me those, I knew something was wrong. Then I asked this guy if he had more KPIs. I said, wait a second, they're dialing so much and they're dialing so fast, but they give you one full-time caller. How the hell does one full-time caller have 400,000 dials in 3 months? That is almost literally impossible. And he says, well, Nick, hey, I've got some weekly stats right here for you. He goes, let me go ahead and read you these stats. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to screen share so you can see these numbers. I don't just want to throw numbers at you. I want you to see these numbers. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and screen share in the background. I wait till you guys hear this. So I'm going to cover this on a couple different levels. Okay. One is 3 months worth of dials. We have 181 leads. That's at the top. 410,000 dials they made in 3 months. That's crazy. Okay. Then we had 181 leads. I'm going to try to do all this the right way here. 181 leads, 4 closed deals. Okay. Now, if we look at a couple things here, like we spoke about, this is, if we divide 410 by 181, we're at 2,265 dials per lead. Horrible. And just so everyone knows that's watching right now, at lead mining, if my American cold callers don't generate 1 lead in every 400 dials, they literally aren't allowed to work for me. That is a fact. And my cold callers, again, will probably comment below on this video. That is a fact. If they do not generate 1 lead in 400 dials on average for the whole week, they get put back into training. And if they don't improve in 2 weeks, they are released from their cold calling responsibilities. All right. So I just want to share that with you guys. So that's first and foremost. All right. The next up, we have 4 deals closed on 181 leads. 181 divided by 4. This is leads per deal. Okay. That's 1 deal and every 45 leads I got. That's, to me, right when he showed me these numbers, this was a red flag. And then dials per month. Man, let's break this down real quick. There's about, I think there's about 8 weekends in the month. So let's say we take, let's break this 10,000 dials into how many dials per day. That's what we're going to go for. So let's say there's 22 business days in every month. Okay. So let's do 22 times 3 months is 66 days. So we're going to take 410,000 dials and we're going to divide it by 66. And this is how many dials they are doing per day. Okay. This is crazy. This is not a brag. All right. So this is 6,212 dials per day. Okay, that's wild. You know what else this means? This means, well, if there's 8 hours in a day, let's do this divided by 8. They're dialing 776 dials per hour. Okay, I want you guys to think about that at lead mining. And I'm going to have a place for lead mining over here. Let's do lead mining stats. Okay, at lead mining, we average 20 leads per deal, and we average, let's say it's the worst of my minimum team, so 400 dials per lead. Okay, just to give you guys some statistics here. Put this right over here. Okay. 20 leads per deal, 400 dials per lead. Okay, those are our stats. Then over here, this is dials per hour. Again, just so you guys know, the reason why I know this math, because I've been running a call center for 8 years. Now, Land Caller, I think they're only 1 or 2 years in business, and this makes sense why they're doing this. Okay, it's because they don't know what they're doing, and I'm not trying to trash talk them, but it's different. They are playing a huge quantity volume game. They're polluting the airways, and they're not even focused on the right side, which is how many leads you're actually getting. I could literally coach the founder of Land Caller and probably quadruple his customer satisfaction rate. So 176 dials per hour. Lead mining, our dials per hour is about 150. Now we are dialing at a 3-time dialer rate. So if we're at a 3-time dialer rate and they're at 776, let's go ahead and figure out how fast they're dialing. So 776 divided by 150. Okay, that's 5 times. So that means that, judging by the math, that they're calling 15 times dialer speed. Now, what does that mean? You might not know what that means. That means that they're calling 15 people at the same exact time. We are calling 3 people at the same exact time. Well, what is that doing to his numbers? What is that doing for you? Well, let me explain. If you call 15 people and 7 pick up, and by the way, 7 might pick up. Land has a huge contact rate when you do it right. Okay. So these people, 15 people are getting called. 7 might pick up. If 7 pick up, 6 are getting hung up on. 6 people hung up on. Boom. Great brand reputation there. All right. Not only is that bad for your customer service aspect, but that's horrible for your dialing aspect, right? All of this stuff is weighed in algorithms. The faster you're dialing, the faster your numbers go bad. The faster your numbers go bad, the less people answer. The less people answer, the less leads you get. And we can see that they're not worried about that aspect. They're just saying, let's do 400,000 dials. Let's destroy the reputation of the phone number. Let's destroy the reputation of the caller and the client, right? And then let's just blast everything out there. Okay. Whenever that is not really the way for performance, right? So 15 times dialer speed. Guys, that is crazy, crazy dialer speed. I mean, and that's just using the math. I have no idea what they set it to. I don't even know dialers could go that fast. But judging off of the way that they dial, I'm not surprised. Okay, so now I want to cover their weekly stats. And so he told me, he said, Nick, let me read you last week's KPIs. They did 46,000 dials last week. And on 46,000 dials, he told me, we did the math, and it was a 2.5% contact rate. Well, let's go ahead and look at how many people that actually is. So 46,000 times 2.5% contact rate. So they spoke to 1,150 people. Okay. Now that is a lot of conversations, but it's 2.5%. They literally, what they are doing is they're destroying the reputation of the phone number and marking it as spam likely. So now no one's answering the phone. And when nobody answers the phone, then they have to then dial more to make up for that. That's literally their strategy. Or they could slow down their dialer, focus on quality, focus on taking perfect action, and get more people to pick up the phone and get more leads generated. So let's look at lead mining real quick. Okay. So what are our stats? So I think I might even be able to pull up our stats for last week. Now, I'm going to get transparent with you guys. Okay. I'm going to pull up my chat here. I have a chat just for our stats at lead mining. There it is, stats only. Okay, let's open this up. Open in Messenger. Okay, let's look at this real quick. Okay, this is us congratulating cold callers. Okay, so look, this is our American cold calling statistics for yesterday. Okay, this is yesterday. I'm gonna copy and paste this. We'll get all the information out of here. I'm gonna copy and paste this over, and we're gonna look at these stats. And our contact rate was 8.83%. Every number freaking matters around here. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this in sheer comparison. Okay, where is the dials made? Okay, 5931. Bam. Okay, so now if we look at this, let's just do the math real quick. 2.5% to 8.83. Let's go ahead and see the difference, right? So lead mining versus land caller difference. Okay. So 8.83. So we got 3.5 times more people on the phone. Okay. 3.5 times more. Why? Because we have practices that we do at lead mining that get more people to answer the phone. And that gets us almost 4 times more people on the phone. All right. So then, and let's go ahead and pull up our contact rate here. So how many people we spoke to? So 8.3% on 6,000 dials. We spoke to 523 people. So I want you guys to really think about these numbers. Okay. So land caller is making 46,000 dials to speak to 1,150. And that's in a week. In a week. Right? This is for a day. These are daily stats. In one day, on 6,000 dials, we spoke to 523 people in one day. That is the difference when you start to do the math. I hope there's math nerds in here. Otherwise, this might be going over some people's heads. But these numbers are monumental. So it would basically, judging by this math, it would take us 12,000 dials to speak to the same amount of people that they're speaking in 46,000 dials. So they have to work 4 times as harder. Not just that, but let's think about all these people's cell phones. Guess what? This 46,000, those are cell phones getting blown up right now all over the nation. This is saturating your own market. This is so bad. Like, I can't even tell you guys how bad this is for the industry, how bad this is for the market. To take 46,000 dials to do what I can do in 12 is almost borderline disrespectful to the industry, not me, to the industry, to cold callers everywhere. These guys are getting less people to answer their phone nationwide because they're blowing up so many phones to get crappy results. And I'm sorry if anyone here was working for land caller watching this. I'm not trying to insult you. I'm just speaking mathematically. I was so thankful this customer shared this information with me. So if we look at these numbers, we're speaking to 3 times more people. I'm clearly so pumped up about this. These numbers blew me away. Dials per lead, 269. Let's go over to their stuff. So 269 divided by 2265. I did it wrong again. We are getting leads 8.5 times more often. Okay. 8.5 times. We're getting 4 times the amount of people on the phone, and we're generating leads 8 times more often. Think about that. So when you think about the lead mining difference, when you think about what is the big difference between these two, not including the customer service, not including the courses, not including all that extra cool stuff. Everyone gets my cell phone number. Everyone gets free coaching and consulting, not including any of that, but on the sheer numbers alone, we're producing at 8.5 times the rate, right? Which means that even if we were 8 times more expensive than them, that you would actually be breaking even. I want you to think about that. Even if we were 8 times more expensive, you'd be breaking even. Crazy. This is crazy. All right. I think I'm going to stop the video there. That just blew my fucking mind. I am going to create the best marketing content off of this information. This is really the difference. And well, you might ask, how did lead mining get so good? Right? How come, wow, these numbers are crazy. How come it is that good? Right? Well, I'll tell you why. And that is because I have such insane customer service. My clients already know they can book weekly one-on-one calls with me for free. You want to get really good at something? How about inviting people every week to tell you how they feel about you? That's why they're that good. Because people meet with me and I go, hey, this number looks off. What's going on here? Hey, this number looks off over here. What's going on over there? Hey, what's happening here? And I'm diving into the data. I'm diving into the numbers, and I'm always fighting extremely hard for my clients to get the most bang for their buck. That's exactly what our business is based off of. And most importantly, we're not harassing anyone. We're not calling 46,000 people in a week. You know, that guy said that he got 181 leads in 3 months. 181 divided by 12. That's how many weeks are in 3 months. And it's probably even like 14 because there's 4.3 weeks in a month. Is 15 leads a week. That's it. This guy's dialing 46,000 people to generate 15 leads in a week. What? That is crazy. We dialed just yesterday. I'm gonna go back to the spreadsheet. This is breaking news. We dialed just yesterday 5,900 people and got 19 leads. So they dial 46,000 people and get 15 leads. We dial 5,900 people and get 19. Crazy. Guys, I love math. I love math. I'm so, the guy that called me today, literal angel from heaven, because I thought that they were comparable to us. And after I heard these numbers, these guys are not comparable to us. They're doing the same thing you could be doing. They're hiring someone for $3 an hour. They're throwing a headset on them. They're turning their dialer up all the way as fast as it can go. And they are rifling through phone numbers like it's nobody's business. Okay. Any one of you could do that. You don't have to pay them $3,700 a month to make that happen. And then that's the other, I didn't even get into the finances of it. They're $3,700 a month at the base level. At the base level. You take $3,000 to lead mining. You take $3,000 to lead mining, you can get 2 King Kong packages. I'll pull it up real quick. We're not done here yet. Let's just keep it rolling. You go to lead mining, you can get my King Kong package, one of my biggest packages on my website with American callers. These guys are $3,700 a month for the list, the data, and the calling. $3,700 a month. For $1,530, we average 20 to 60 leads with our calling and our texting for $1,530. Okay, you could buy 2 of these packages and still save $660 a month and get Americans and get more leads and be more satisfied. And let's not talk about the big difference here, which is Americans. The Americans make the difference, especially in land. I had a huge client call me the other day. He bought the 10-week Titan for $7,000. He says, Nick, I'm working on 2 leads right now from you that are CEO level people. And I know for a fact that your Americans are the reasons that we got those leads. He's like, we've hired foreign callers before. A foreign caller would have never impressed the CEO level landowner. That was my favorite compliment. That happened 3 weeks ago. James, shout out, bro. Thank you. Thank you for that. But guys, I'm trying to show you the difference here. I don't want you guys spinning your wheels. They're more expensive. They're less functional. Okay. And, like we have to speak on the industry. They're blowing up phone numbers. You're saturating your own markets. Stop it. Stop. That's like literally. If you knew what I knew about dials and phone numbers, what if you knew a guy sending out 46,000 pieces of mail, right? Yeah, well, he's going to hurt it for everyone else. He's not a good closer. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's not organized. His message isn't good, right? All this stuff is wrong. He's getting really crappy results, but because it's super freaking cheap for him to send out 46,000 and have minimal results, he's still doing it. He's hurting all other marketing in that area. We have to keep that in mind too. The pollution. All right, I'm going to shut up. I'm super pumped. I'm taking my mom out for Mother's Day today. I can't wait. I love you guys. Thank you for everything.